Have you ever felt that sinking feeling in your chest? The one that grips your heart when you're worried about the future, your loved ones, your health, or even your faith? Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. It can cloud your thoughts, drain your energy, and make you feel stuck. But here's the truth that we often forget. Fear is temporary, and faith is eternal. And when you place your trust in Allah, He can help you overcome even the deepest fears, bringing calm to your storm. Let's be honest. Fear is something we all face. It's human to be scared of failure, rejection, loss, or the unknown. But Islam teaches us that fear doesn't have to control us. It's okay to be afraid, but what's not okay is to let that fear distance you from Allah. The moment you realize that fear is just a test, and that every test comes with divine support, you start to see fear as an opportunity to grow closer to your Creator. Allah does not leave the believer alone, and this video will show you how to recognize His presence in your life when fear threatens to consume you. Throughout this journey, we'll uncover the beauty of Allah's guidance, how He calms your heart, sends help when you least expect it, and fills you with strength when you feel like giving up. So, if you've been struggling with fear, don't worry. You're not broken and you're not alone. You're exactly where you need to be because Allah is already working on your relief. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Deen Xplorers, and let's begin this journey together toward peace and trust in Allah. 1. You feel a calmness after making dua. Have you ever experienced that moment when fear consumes you and you feel as if there's no escape? Your heart races, your mind floods with worst-case scenarios, and it seems like the weight of the world is sitting on your chest. But then, in that vulnerable moment, you raise your hands and whisper a dua to Allah. Maybe it's not even a long or elaborate dua, just a few words, a heartfelt plea for help. Suddenly, you feel a calmness wash over you. The storm within you begins to quiet down. That's not a coincidence. It's one of the most beautiful signs that Allah is with you and helping you overcome your fears. In life, we often think that overcoming fear requires immediate external solutions. We search for something tangible, a helping hand, a fixed situation, or an escape plan. But in reality, the first step to conquering fear comes from within, and Allah is the one who places calmness in our hearts. When we sincerely make dua, it's not just about asking for something we want. It's about acknowledging that we are powerless without Allah, and that only He can provide us with the relief we seek. The act of making dua itself is an act of surrender, and through that surrender, Allah gifts us peace. This is beautifully emphasized in the Quran, where the ones who believe and their hearts are peaceful with the remembrance of Allah. Listen, the hearts find peace only in the remembrance of Allah. It means that the heart no longer panics or feels trapped by the uncertainties of life. Fear thrives on uncertainty. When we don't know what will happen next, our imagination runs wild, creating scenarios that may never even occur. But when you call upon Allah, you remind yourself that the future is in His hands, and no matter what happens, He is in control. This thought alone is powerful enough to silence fear. Even if the external situation hasn't changed, internally, your heart begins to feel secure. That security is a sign that Allah is working within you, helping you build the strength to face whatever comes your way. Many people underestimate the power of dua, thinking it's just a ritual. But dua is a conversation with Allah, the most merciful, and when you engage in that conversation, you're never speaking to an empty sky. Allah hears every word you utter, every tear that falls, and every unspoken fear hidden in your heart. When He responds by granting you peace, it's a reminder that you are not alone. Even if you can't see the path ahead, you're being guided by the one who knows it better than you ever could. So, if you ever find yourself drowning in fear, remember that the calmness you feel after dua is not just a coincidence. It's a sign of Allah's mercy embracing you, telling you, I am with you. Trust that calmness. Hold on to it tightly, because it's your proof that Allah is already helping you overcome your fears, even if you can't see the full picture yet. 2. Allah sends you guidance through signs or people. When you feel lost and overwhelmed by fear, it's easy to believe that you are navigating life's challenges alone. You might sit in your room, worrying about what to do next, unsure of how to move forward. Fear feeds on this uncertainty, but one of the clearest signs that Allah is helping you overcome your fears is when He sends guidance through unexpected signs, people, or moments of clarity. This guidance may not be flashy or obvious, but when it arrives, it shifts your perspective, calms your fears, and opens doors that you thought were shut forever. Whoever fears Allah, He brings forth a way out for him. If you maintain trust in Allah, He will create a way out of your struggles, even when it seems like no solution exists. The way out doesn't always come as a grand miracle. Sometimes it's subtle. It could be a conversation with a friend who says exactly what you need to hear at the mosque that directly addresses the fears you've been battling. Sometimes you might stumble upon a Quranic verse or hear a piece of advice on social media that seems tailor-made for your situation. These moments are not coincidences. They are Allah's guidance, sent at the perfect time to help you when you need it most. Imagine you're struggling with a major decision about your career or personal life, and fear has gripped your heart. You've been praying but still feel unsure. Then, out of nowhere, someone shares their experience, and their story resonates with you on a deep level. Or you hear a verse from the Quran that speaks directly to your soul, providing clarity and reassurance. That's Allah's way of guiding you. He knows what's in your heart and responds by sending help, often in ways you least expect. It's important to remain open to recognizing these signs. Sometimes we're so consumed by fear that we ignore the guidance Allah is sending our way. But when you put your trust in Him, even the smallest signs can feel like a lifeline. For example, if you've been worried about a family issue and suddenly a relative offers help or advice, that's Allah working through them to ease your burden. Similarly, if you've been struggling to find a job and someone unexpectedly recommends an opportunity, recognize that this is Allah creating a path for you. The beauty of Allah's guidance is that it's perfectly timed. Even when you feel like you've reached a dead end, Allah knows exactly when to intervene. Trust that He is always aware of your struggles and is constantly sending you signs, even if you don't immediately recognize them. When you do, it's a reminder that you are never truly alone. As long as you seek Allah's guidance and stay connected to Him, help will always come your way, reassuring you that fear will not defeat you. 3. You begin to see small solutions to big problems. When fear grips your heart, the challenges you face can feel overwhelming and unsolvable. Problems seem larger than life, and you may think, how am I ever going to overcome this? It's natural to feel this way. Fear exaggerates our obstacles, making them appear like mountains too steep to climb. But one of the most beautiful signs that Allah is helping you is when you begin to see small solutions appearing, little by little. These small steps of progress may not solve everything at once, but they are proof that relief is on its way. Undoubtedly, along with the hardship, there is ease. It doesn't say relief will come after difficulty, it says it comes with it. This means that even when you are going through a tough time, Allah is simultaneously placing moments of ease in your path. You just need to look for them. These moments could be as small as an encouraging conversation with someone who uplifts your spirit, or as significant as receiving unexpected help that temporarily lightens your burden. For example, imagine you are in financial trouble and can't see how you'll manage to pay your bills. Suddenly, you find an extra shift at work, or someone offers to lend you money without expecting anything in return. The problem isn't fully solved, but that small relief is enough to keep you going. Or maybe you're battling anxiety about your health, and out of nowhere, A supportive friend checks in on you, offering words of comfort that calm your heart. These small solutions may seem insignificant, but they're part of Allah's plan to gradually lead you out of fear and difficulty. Sometimes, the solutions Allah sends aren't about fixing the problem itself, but about shifting your perspective. You might be worried about your future, and instead of instantly receiving a clear answer, you start noticing small blessings in your present life, like good health, supportive friends, or unexpected opportunities. These blessings remind you that while the big picture is still uncertain, Allah is taking care of you in ways you might not have acknowledged before. This shift in mindset can be just as powerful as a direct solution. Small solutions build trust. When you see Allah helping you through little victories, your faith grows stronger. You begin to understand that just because you can't see the end of the road doesn't mean relief isn't coming. The little steps are proof that you're moving forward, even if it's slower than you'd like. And that's the beauty of Allah's help. It teaches patience, gratitude, and reliance on Him. So, when you find yourself frustrated because your fears haven't completely disappeared, take a moment to reflect on the small blessings and solutions that have come your way. They're not random. They're signs that Allah is actively working behind the scenes, helping you overcome one step at a time. Trust these moments and trust that they will lead you to the bigger relief you seek. 4. You feel inspired to be more patient and trust Allah's timing. Fear often stems from the unknown. When you don't know what the future holds, your mind becomes your worst enemy, creating scenarios that make you feel trapped and anxious. You begin asking yourself questions like, what if things don't work out? Or, what if I'm stuck in this situation forever? But one of the clearest signs that Allah is helping you overcome your fears is when you feel inspired to be patient, calm, and trusting of His divine timing. This isn't something that happens by accident. It's a shift in your heart, a gift from Allah, encouraging you to let go of the need for immediate answers and to embrace the process instead. O you who believe, seek help through patience and prayer. Surely Allah is with those who are patient. When you practice patience, Allah doesn't leave you alone in your struggle. He is with you, guiding you, comforting you, and making sure that every delay is part of a greater plan. When you're facing fear and uncertainty, patience is like a bridge that connects you to the relief you seek. Without it, you risk falling into panic and despair. But when Allah places patience in your heart, you start seeing the bigger picture. You realize that what seems delayed isn't denied, and that Allah's timing is always better than your own. Imagine someone searching for a job after months of unemployment. The fear of rejection and financial instability can feel paralyzing. But as they continue to make dua, they might notice that their anxiety gradually fades and a sense of calm sets in. They begin to trust that the right job will come when Allah knows they are ready for it. This patience doesn't mean they stop trying. It means they continue working hard, but without the weight of desperation. They start believing that every closed door is leading them closer to the one that is meant for them. Patience also shifts the way you interpret life's setbacks. Instead of seeing them as failures, you start seeing them as lessons. For example, if you're hoping to get married and a potential proposal falls through, it can be easy to feel afraid of being alone forever. But when you have patience, you understand that Allah's delay is actually a form of protection. Maybe the person wasn't right for you, or maybe Allah is preparing you for someone better. When you trust His timing, the fear of what if is replaced with the peace of when it's meant to be, it will be. Patience isn't passive. It's an active form of worship. It requires you to keep moving forward, even when you don't see immediate results. And when Allah inspires patience within you, it's a sign that He's working behind the scenes, setting everything in place. This feeling of trust is your shield against fear, reminding you that no matter how uncertain things seem, Allah's plan is always unfolding perfectly. So, hold on to patience, because through it, Allah is already guiding you toward relief. 5. You gain a stronger connection to the Quran and Salah. When fear overwhelms you, it can feel like you're drowning, and the world around you seems uncertain, dark, and heavy. But there's something incredible about the way Allah helps you during those moments of fear. One of the clearest signs of His help is when you find yourself naturally turning to the Quran and Salah more frequently. Even if your problems aren't solved right away, you feel a strange sense of relief just by being closer to Allah. That growing connection with Him becomes your safe space, a source of strength that helps you stand firm in the face of your fears. Seek help through patience and prayer. It is indeed exacting, but not for those who are humble in their hearts. Whenever we're afraid, struggling, or lost, we have two powerful tools at our disposal: patience and Salah. Many people underestimate the value of Salah, thinking it's just an obligation or ritual, but in reality, it's a direct lifeline to Allah. When you stand in prayer, reciting the words of the Quran, you're not just speaking, you're being heard by the One who controls everything. Salah is your refuge, a space where you can pour out your fears without judgment and ask for guidance, knowing that Allah listens to every word. Fear thrives on isolation. When you feel disconnected from the world and uncertain about the future, fear grows stronger. But when Allah inspires you to reconnect with the Quran and Salah, you're no longer isolated. You're reminded of His promises, His mercy, and His control over all things. The Quran, in particular, becomes a source of comfort like no other. Have you ever opened it randomly and stumbled upon a verse that speaks directly to your heart, as if it was meant just for you? That's not a coincidence. It's Allah's way of guiding you and easing your fears. The more you read, the more you feel His presence, and the more your heart finds peace. Take a moment to reflect on this. Have you ever been overwhelmed by fear, but after praying, you felt calmer, even if nothing in your external situation had changed? That's the transformative power of Salah. It doesn't always remove the problem, but it strengthens your heart and mind so you can face it without breaking down. You start to believe that even if you don't have all the answers, Allah does. The fear that once seemed so overpowering now feels manageable because you're no longer fighting it alone. Another sign of Allah's help is when you feel motivated to seek out specific verses from the Quran related to your struggles. For example, if you're worried about provision, you might find comfort in verses about Allah's sustenance. If you're afraid of failure, you might come across stories of the prophets who overcame hardship with faith. This connection isn't random. It's a gift from Allah, designed to strengthen your heart at the exact moment you need it most. So when you notice yourself feeling more drawn to the Quran and Salah during times of fear, embrace it. It's Allah pulling you closer, helping you build the inner resilience needed to overcome your challenges. With every prayer and every verse you recite, you are planting seeds of faith that will grow into courage and peace. Trust that through this connection, Allah is already guiding you to the relief and strength you seek. You're not just praying, you're transforming your fears into faith, one step at a time. We've come to the end of this beautiful journey, but it's really just the beginning of your personal growth. I hope these 5 signs have opened your heart to recognizing how deeply Allah cares for you and how actively He's guiding you through your fears. Remember, fear is part of life, but with Allah by your side, you're never facing it alone. Every dua you make, every moment of patience, and every connection you build with the Quran and Salah is proof that you are stronger than your fear. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, don't panic. Take a deep breath, make dua, and look for the signs. Allah's mercy surrounds you more than you realize. He will never abandon you. With faith, patience, and trust, you will rise above whatever is scaring you today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you experienced any of these signs in your life? Let me know how Allah has guided you through difficult times. Your stories can inspire others too. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Deen Explorers for more faith-filled reminders to strengthen your relationship with Allah.